How you guys doing? In today's video I'm going to show you how to replace complete fuel pump module assembly on a 1995 Ford F-150. This will be for the front tank. The reason why I'm replacing this whole assembly, in this truck the fuel gauge didn't work for the front tank. To gain access to the sending unit, which is this one right here, you gotta remove the entire module. And since this fuel pump has been in this vehicle since it was brand new, it just doesn't make any sense for me to go through all the trouble, remove the module, replace the sending unit, which is what's bad in this truck, and install an old pump back on. I'm not going to do that much work and leave an old pump. It's just not going to happen. So this truck is going to end up with its problem repaired, which is a fuel gauge that doesn't work, because it's going to have a brand new sending unit and brand new strainer, brand new pump, brand new everything. So I won't have to mess with it, hopefully, ever again. Alright, so a couple of safety precautions when doing this job. Obviously, as a no-brainer, you gotta disconnect your negative battery cable. That's a must. Then you gotta relieve the fuel pressure so you don't get fuel everywhere when you disconnect the lines. You're gonna be inserting a small screwdriver in the Schrader valve. I'll show you where in a minute. So, even though I'm not a huge fan of safety glasses, you know, for stuff like that you do need to wear them. Make sure you don't get gasoline in your eyes. That's never fun. It burns quite a bit. You'll be running towards the sink if you get gas in your eyes. So just wear some glasses and let me show you where to relieve the pressure. This particular truck is equipped with a 5-liter engine, and then the Schrader valve is located right there behind the distributor. Remove the plastic cover that looks just like a valve stem cover from your tires. Place a rag, shop towel, something underneath so it collects the fuel. You don't get it on your engine. And you definitely don't want to do this when the engine's hot, because it may just catch on fire. So wait till it cools down enough. And then once you have a towel underneath, go ahead and depress the Schrader valve with the screwdriver to relieve the pressure. Okay, so there wasn't a whole lot of pressure left in this system, which it also indicates the pump's slightly weak. So this truck is really going to benefit from a brand new fuel pump on top of a brand new sending unit. You will need to verify that there are no fuel leaks from the Schrader valve once you replace your pump and you start your engine again. Because you know, when you depress it, if you never know, if the seal in the Schrader valve is old, it could develop a leak. So one of the things that you will have to definitely watch for. Alright, so you can tackle this job a couple different ways. You can remove all the bolts that hold the bed in place, and either remove the bed completely after you unhook the taillight harness so you don't rip it off, or you can lift the front end of the bed with an engine hoist. That would be the easiest way to access the pump, because you can do it right from the top. This bed has a bed liner on, and I don't have the ambition right now to take the thing off. It looks like somebody bolted it on for whatever reason. So, because of that, I'm going to show you how to replace this fuel pump from underneath. And because this truck is stuck, is not lifted or anything, I lifted the front and rear end of the truck. I have some jack stands on the front, under the I-beams, and I have jack stands under the rear axle. So within a few minutes you're going to learn how to replace this fuel pump from underneath. So first step, locate your filler hose, which obviously is pretty easy to find. Right there you got your fuel tank door, and it's going to be behind it. No brainer. There's going to be a hose clamp just like this one at the other end of the hose where it connects to the fuel tank. Loosen it up with either a screwdriver or a wrench or a socket, whichever is easier for you, and detach the filler hose from the gas tank. Next step is to disconnect the electrical connection that goes to the fuel pump module. So just trace it, you can start from the top if you like. That's probably your easiest way to find it, and follow it. Alright, so this is what the connector looks like. Pull on the plastic tabs located on both sides of the connector, and then pull them apart to disconnect it. use a flat screwdriver to separate the safety clip from the line. Do it on both lines. To disconnect the fuel lines in this truck, you're going to need a tool similar to this. This one is metal and it has both sizes. It has the 5/16 for the return line and it has the 3/8 for the supply line. So this is all I need. Some of them are made out of plastic, there's all kinds of different designs, but they all had to have this. That what you do is you wrap it around the fuel line and then you're going to push it in all the way, and just to make sure the clips are all the way open, push them both together. As you are applying pressure that way, then apply pressure this way on the line to make sure the clips that hold it in place open up all the way, and then after that just separate it, and it just comes undone. If you look inside, you can see the metal tabs that keep it in place. Those little metal tabs inside, they clip against this ridge of the metal line, and it keeps it from coming off. So what this does, when you insert it, it pulls them out. It pries them open. That's why you're able to pry the fuel line out. Without this, you won't be able to. You're going to damage the line. When you're connected back on, because there's some O-rings inside, make sure you coat this line with Vaseline or petroleum jelly to avoid damaging the seals when you're connecting it back to the new module. Plus, be very careful and make sure you do it straight. If you do it crooked, then you also run the risk of damaging the lines when you're installing it back on. And then just go ahead and do the other one with the 3/8 line, the supply line. This was the return line, smaller in diameter. Once everything is disconnected from the filler hose, fuel lines, both return supply and the electrical connector, now it's going to be time to loosen the fuel tank straps. You don't want to do this and not have something under the fuel tank, because it's going to fall on you, and that's not going to be fun. If you use a regular floor jack, you're going to have to put a piece of wood under, on top of it, so you have something soft in between the jack and the tank so you don't damage it. Otherwise, if you use just your jack with this, these right here are going to make dents or even holes on your tank, so good luck on that. So regular floor jack, piece of wood. In my case, I get rid of this. This is a plate I made that slides right on the jack, and I can use it for that purpose. It's going to give it a flat surface that's going to go under the tank without damaging it. So there are two fuel tank straps that hold it in place. One in the front and one in the back of the tank. They're held by 15mm nuts. So once you have a jack, which is right here, you can see my plate. So once you have a jack underneath and you have applied live pressure against it so it doesn't fall, go ahead and remove the nuts using a deep 15mm socket. You may have to hold the top of the bolt with a 13mm wrench to keep it from turning as you loosen the nut. So the strap is loose, as you can tell, and then just go ahead and do that with the other side. Once both fuel tank straps are loose, go ahead and lower your tank carefully and try to steady it as you lower it. Once the tank's all the way down, go ahead and slide it out from underneath the truck. Clean the surface so you don't get dirt inside your tank when you remove the old sanding unit. Next, use the blunt chisel. The retaining ring has lips. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then use the blunt chisel against one of the lips and punch with a hammer counterclockwise to release it. Piece of cake, and just remove the ring. Next, remove your fuel pump module assembly. A bit of a messy job here. Okay. Just set it on a pan. Obviously, as you can tell, still has fuel, so you don't want to make a bigger mess than you should. Cover your tank temporarily so no dirt gets in there. Once you have removed your old fuel pump module, that I have right here in the pan for gas, compare it to the new one. Make sure everything is the same from the connection, the lines, and then go ahead and proceed to install it back on. Now, it's going to come with a brand new ring that you put on top of the tank before you put the cylinder on. This seals it so there are no fuel leaks when you overfill your tank, when you go all the way to the top, to the hose. And then this particular one came even with a brand new ring, so of course I'm going to put it on. Don't forget what I mentioned earlier, when you're installing your lines, coat a metal piece with Vaseline. That will keep you from damaging the seals in the fuel lines and developing a leak. So that's extremely important when you install it. Once you're done installing the pump on, install the tank back on the vehicle, connect the lines, the breather hose, your electrical connector, connect your negative cable back on. Before you start the truck, just turn the key on. Make sure there are no leaks coming out of the Schrader valve where you had to bleed the pressure at the beginning. If it's leaking, then you're going to have to replace the Schrader valve with a new one. If it's not leaking, go ahead and start it. Look at your gauge, make sure it works. If there are no leaks and the gauge works, then you're pretty much done. So go ahead and lower your vehicle to the ground, and by watching this video you were able to see how simple it is to replace a fuel pump 92 to 97 Ford F-150. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We upload new videos every week. Also, when you get some chance, visit our online store. We have a very wide selection of accessories for trucks, cars, and we also have a very decent amount of tools. You know, every tool that you saw here that I use, you know, we have it available. So just take some time to check it out, see what you think. Thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.